So you know how 2024 has been an insane year for Roblox? The situation I'll be talking about basically adds to that. There is a game called Dandy's World that has gotten into a lot of controversy. How so? It's recently come to light that some of the game's creators are horrible people. I know that claim sounds crazy, but there is evidence to support it. It was all compiled onto a Google Doc by user DuckAdam, so we'll be reviewing that in this video. There are two things I want to say, however. First, this video was inspired by Lemmy's video on the same topic, so make sure to go check him out. Second, please do not harass anyone that was mentioned in this video. I know that the temptation to harass people is really big, especially considering the situation, but please try to refrain from doing so. Anyway, what evidence is there against the creators of Dandy's World? There is quite a lot of evidence against Rock Serpent. As you guys can see right here, it says, Rock Serpent is the co-creator of Flavor Frenzy in Dandy's World, a former contributor to Tower Heroes, and a former contributor to Data Brawl. He's gone by other aliases such as Homestuck Jake413, Jakers, Traveling Moonrock, and Chill Faceless. So yeah, if you guys were aware of any of these users, just know that they are all the same person. Anyway, considering the topic of this video, we're just going to be reviewing this entire document and giving our own thoughts on it, as well as explain what it's talking about. So yeah, the first thing I do want to say is that this document does have a content warning, which is because it mentions topics such as grooming, cheese pizza, and inappropriate conversations towards underage people. The reason I refer to this as cheese pizza is because YouTube censorship is that bad. However, you guys most likely know what I'm talking about when I say that, so yeah. The first thing I will say is that this entire situation has been going on since 2019, so none of this behavior is new exactly. However, the bad stuff started to occur in 2020. As you guys can see right here, in May 2020, Rox had sexual interactions with Buddy, a person who was 13 years old, and these interactions were mainly about a person named Paige, who at the time was 15 years old. Obviously, they were minors, so this was obviously not okay. Rox was also a minor as well, being 17 at the time, but that still does not excuse this behavior. Skipping forward a few months, in August 2020, Rox and a person named Tom, who was 15 years old at the time, got into a romantic relationship. At least I assume it was a romantic relationship. Skipping forward to September 2020, Rox and Tom got into a video call, and somehow Rox got Tom to send naked pictures of himself. The reason this is bad is because, like I said earlier, Tom was a minor at the time. He was around 15 to 16 according to Rox, which basically means this is cheese pizza. Not cheese pizza drawings, but actual cheese pizza, which is obviously not okay. Speaking of cheese pizza, in April of 2021, Rox drew CP of a person named Gary, who at the time was 15 years old. As it says right here, around the time that this happened, Rox would have been 18 years old, which makes him a legal adult. At this point in time, Rox was literally committing a crime and could have been convicted. Why he has not been convicted since then, I have no idea. But yeah, something else to note is that right here it says, there's almost certainly more, especially since Rox's caption for this was the sequel to X Gary. Yeah, very disgusting things. There is something else that you should all know about though, and it's that another co-owner of Dandy's World, Quell, was actually aware of what Rox did, yet decided to not do anything about it. In fact, Quell defended Rox and basically dismissed all of Gary's claims. As you guys can see in this screenshot, Quell says, quote, "There is zero proof provided for these claims as well. I have never once stated Rox can get away with this. As for Gary's claim himself, they lack a large amount of proof as well." This is basically Quell saying that there is no evidence of Rox being a horrible person and drawing cheese pizza of Gary. When as stated before, Rox did draw this type of material. The fact that Quell was willing to defend Rox is honestly very disgusting. Something else to know about Quell is that even after all of the allegations and evidence came out against Rox, Quell still decided to befriend Rox and even defended him. Like I said earlier, this tweet by NicoNexus1 states, "What made it all really weird is like after he rebranded himself and unfriended everyone, people realized Quell decided to friend him back again, and everyone who realized this were so fucking confused." This also confused me because if you know that your friend is a horrible person and had inappropriate conversations with a minor, why would you still defend them and even decide to friend them again on Roblox? That's just a very dumb thing to do. So, how did Quell and Rox respond to these allegations? Over the years, Rox has made some response videos to all of the allegations, and they were all just straight up bad. For the purposes of this video, we'll only be discussing his most recent response video. What did Rox actually say though? As you guys can see in this screenshot, Rox said, quote, "In the time between the release of this new document, dealing with the harassment from users, and creating this video, my cat Chloe had passed away. The people harassing me and dealing with the situation never gave me the time to mourn her loss. Obviously, this is very sad, but the fact that you're using it in a response video is just very disgusting. Another thing that Rox did was implying that the screenshots provided in this very document and all other ones exposing him were fake. This is gross because, as it says right here, you admit they were real and apologize for them, except you tried to lie until receipts were sent. We know you were sent most if not all the screenshots of Buddy describing their interactions with you, including the part where they describe grooming because of your second video and the nickname Buddy. For those who don't know, Buddy is one of Rox's victims. With that knowledge, the fact that Rox is trying to say that all of these screenshots were fake is just very disgusting and makes it seem like that you're trying to hide the situation for what it really is. It makes it seem like you're just trying to downplay the severity of the situation. Speaking of these screenshots, here is one of them that just shows how bad Rox really is. I'm not even gonna read what it says because it's just that disgusting. The main thing to know is that the things that he said in this specific screenshot was directed at a 13-year-old. It even says right here, reminder, once again, Rox was 17 and Buddy was 13. So yeah, that just makes this screenshot even worse. So while recording this video, I found out that Quell's response to the entire situation was within Rox's response video. It's at the end, but it was still a pretty bad response. Something else I don't like about the response video is that, as you guys can see, it is 57 minutes long. Is there that much information to talk about? I know that there's a lot of evidence. I mean, besides, this document is like 64 pages long, but like, holy hell. Some of the allegations that the video tried to debunk include, quote, the screenshots in no way prove I knew about the art for months and the messages aren't even from me, which it turns out they did prove that they knew about the art. And, quote, the screenshots were cropped in a misleading way. I don't think so because, as it says right here, what was misleading about it? It was showing you clearly knew what Rox was doing, and uncropping it didn't change the context at all. The screenshots said what they said. Quell knew about these behaviors and did not do anything about it. All of this honestly makes you wonder why Roblox has not done anything about Rox and Quell. Rox clearly did inappropriate behaviors with minors, and Quell was just enabling it and allowing it to happen, especially while knowing that these behaviors were taking place. The fact that Roblox has not done anything about it is honestly just baffling. Does this mean that Dandy's World should get taken down? I personally do not think so. However, the creators of the game should have action taken against them. If they keep on being on the Roblox platform, who knows if this behavior is gonna expand to other people, besides the victims already mentioned in this video. I know this wasn't a complete breakdown of this document, but I just went over some of the more important points that I feel like all of you guys should know about. It's very obvious that Rox Serpent, one of the creators of Dandy's World, is a horrible person and should be kicked off the Roblox platform. The fact that Roblox has not done anything about it is honestly quite baffling. Like I said earlier, it is really good though that people are starting to realize the truth behind the creators and are trying to hold them accountable. Like I said in the beginning of this video was inspired by Lemmy's video on the same subject, so make sure to go check him out. With that being said, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button and to subscribe to the channel. So yeah, thank you for watching and see you guys soon.